just come to streakwave.com and watch for the webinar links, and you should be able to see this. Next question says, please give some detail on the AirMax quality and AirMax capacity bar graph indicators.
For sure. When you have AirMax on, you get those two values. You get AirMax quality and AirMax capacity. AirMax capacity is a relationship between signal strength and the current data rate. So the device will, generally assumes that if you have a minus 50 signal, that you should have the maximum data rate available. But if due to interference or something like that, and it's lower, the data rate has to drop down, your AirMax capacity will show lower. For AirMax quality, it's basically like the CCQ value. It's basically error rates. If you're getting a lot of errors, your AirMax quality is going to drop significantly. That's another good sign of interference. One thing to note about the AirMax capacity is that any one-by-one device, so Bullet M, AirGrid, will never show more than 50% AirMax capacity because they can only achieve half the data rates of a 2x2 MIMO device.
Next two questions have to do with future products, and they're asking, one, do you have any plans for adding a GPS sync for point-to-multipoint solutions?
That's been discussed a lot. We're evaluating it. Nothing's imminent, but we're evaluating it.
And in a sort of related question, are you looking to release any mesh-ready radios?
No. No, we're not. We don't have plans at this point to release any mesh radios. One thing I'll just note on that is the request for GPS and those kind of things. I just want to kind of throw out there that all of that feedback is very useful. I mean, we do take a lot of that and implement it. I mean, air control. I mean, you can point to so many things in our product line and say this is directly attributed to feedback we received here and we received here. So I just want to kind of reiterate. As you have requests out in the field, as you have those kind of things, please continue to pass them through to our forum or via email. Those are great requests. The GPS sync is a great request. We're obviously evaluating all of those things, and we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, just a quick comment on that. Ubiquiti has an excellent forum online, so if you want to ask questions or pose questions to other people on the forum, you might want to take a look at that. Streakwave can also answer a number of questions on your installations, and if you have particular questions about products, we can get them back to Ubiquiti if they're ones that you would like an answer. Next question is, which power supply should we use to install a NanoStation M5 with a 150-foot 5E cable?
Sorry, you broke up a little bit. What was the question?
I'm sorry. It's on installation of an NSM5 with a 150-foot 5E cable.
Yep. So for 150 foot, yeah, that's no problem for the 24-volt PoE that comes with it for NSM5.
Great. Will the Enterprise AP be dual band and simultaneously?
No. Oh, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, it will not be. Look for additional details on that in the next few weeks. But no, it will not be.
Are you going to try to get mobile cert from the, I'm not sure what this is, from the FCC for your 3.65 gear, I think it says?
No.
Yeah, there's no plan. All of them are fixed devices, fixed deployments.
Next question is, hi, I want to know about the PowerStation 5 series and the dual polarity, a fantastic feature. Can you talk about it?
That was the NanoStation 5 or NanoStation M5?
It said PowerStation 5.
Oh.
Are you sure that's not PowerBridge?
PowerBridge, I think, is what he's referring to.
Yeah, I mean, the PowerBridge comes with, like I said, we spent all the design time in that antenna itself. So you get the dual polarity, you get a very high isolation, and that antenna compares to any of the high-end antennas on the market. These multi-$100 antennas. Plus, we give you the radio and everything built in to a compact, weatherproof design. That's a really awesome antenna.
And what distance can that cover? They ask what distance can be covered by a PowerBridge M.
I mean, maximum distance, 25 dBi with 27 dB of TX power. You can get 35, 40 miles, no problem, but your speeds are going to suffer. It's all depending upon what speed you want at what distance.
Can you comment about the compatibility of AirView with Windows 7?
AirView works with Windows 7 fine. I use it on a Windows 7 64-bit system here. We've tested it with 32-bit, and it works great.
It says, we would like to see a 900 megahertz bullet. Is that in the coming?
Okay.
No, that's not in the coming. There's a number of reasons for that, but no, it's not planned at this point.
Is there an option for an Omni antenna for the Rocket?
I generally don't recommend Omni antennas for the Rocket. First, if you're going to use just one Omni antenna, you got to terminate the other port. And if you're using two Omni antennas, they're not spaced far enough apart to get any kind of chain isolation. So you'll be limited to 1x1 rates anyways. If you're going to do that, you might as well just use a bullet M.
Okay. Are there any plans for a dual radio platform, like a 5.8 for backhaul and a 2.4 for an AP in a single unit?
Not at this time. There's again, that's one of those things that's been discussed. Typically, there are some things that you give up by going to that type of an approach. And so we've determined at this point that we're not going to. That's something that will always probably be asked around and talked around the office as well.
And a couple more, and then we're going to wrap it up. Has the power station been replaced by the power bridge?
No, it has not.
No.
Yeah,
it hasn't been replaced by any means. I mean, the power station continues to ship. There's no EOL or anything like that scheduled. You know, people will continue to use that. I mean, it's still in demand. And obviously, they've got two different price points and two different performance targets. So the power station will be for a certain type of application where as much throughput isn't required and cost is more of a factor. And the power bridge will be used primarily for those installations where performance is critical, more critical, and throughput is more critical.
Are there any plans to offer a virtual APs on any of your radios?
Not yet. It's something that's been requested a lot, and it's something our software guys have looked into. But it's something we want to implement. We just don't have a time frame for any kind of implementation for that.
And I'm sorry, I don't know if this is the correct way, NOAC be expanded for PTMP?
Not in the near future, no. It's a very difficult thing to implement in a point-to-multipoint environment. So for the time being, it's just there to overcome the limitation of long-distance links.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank both of you, and I'd like to thank the audience. We've had a tremendous audience. There's over 200 people who have been asking questions. We couldn't get to all the questions today, but if you have further questions, you can either relate them to Ubiquiti or through Streakwave, and we'd be happy to get you an answer. Again, Streakwave is pleased to bring these webinars, and the webinar will be posted on streakwave.com and the Streakwave YouTube channel. We thank Ben Moore and Mike Ford for their wonderful presentation and being open to answer any questions. At this point, we'll be ending the webinar, and again, we thank you very much for your attendance.